Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Snake still of the night. Great start to the morning. 92-1 City, Philly Joe and Kirby. Kirby's back on Wednesday, JoJo? Is that your information? Okay.
Yeah, she flies home late tonight from her resort in Cuba and decided that there's no way she could do the quick turnaround tomorrow. So she'll get a day of rest and be back with us on Wednesday.
Excellent. The football, you had it in your sports, Joe. I don't want to be too dramatic, but I fear that the Kansas City Chiefs are affecting my enjoyment of NFL football, which I have been a massive fan of for years and years and years. And yeah, it's sour grapes. My team isn't even in the playoffs this year. The Chiefs have no problem beating my Niners, so there's that. But
well, you're in a real conundrum because you hate the Eagles as well.
I don't really like the Eagles either. This Super Bowl for me,
might be free.
Is it?
You might be free February 9th.
If there was ever a day for my wife to say she could get me to do something other than watch football on Super Bowl Sunday, this might be the year.
That being said, I took the Eagles to win the Super Bowl about 4 or 5 weeks ago. This is just a hunch. It was just a hunch.
You did.
Only because of picking up Saquon Barkley. I thought that running game changed everything, and Jalen Hurts did not look banged up at all, even though he started the game with a knee brace. But I'll tell you, it could be a very good Super Bowl with those two teams because both defenses are very, very good and run by two well-respected defensive specialists, both Italian guys, by the way.
Yeah, Spags
and Fangio.
Yeah, I love Vic Fangio. He used to be at the Niners years ago.
And so I really think you're in for a great Super Bowl, game-wise. Whether you like the teams or not, I just think on paper. But the story yesterday of Josh Allen and maybe it being kind of a border town for Canada, and just how do you not like the Bills, especially if you don't like the Chiefs, right? I mean, they're like the evil empire but for a three-peat, that's history that could be made.
I get it when you win a lot, everybody winds up hating you. It was the same with the Patriots, same with the Cowboys, but I would just love, I would love just once in a large game for the Chiefs to be sitting there after the game talking to the media and be upset about a call that didn't go their way. Because in any given big game, there's 50-50 calls throughout any given big game.
Yes.
There always is. But it always manages to go the Chiefs' way, like that fourth down. First of all, the Bills, a lot of people are saying that the Bills got the first down on the play before on the pass to the tight end.
Yes.
And then Allen. Everybody in North America seems to think Allen got the first down. Even one ref thought he got the first down, but the other one marked it elsewhere. Well, and here we are Monday morning going, man. And then there was that pass earlier in the game that the Chiefs got.
I just want to go back to that fourth down play because they stopped them a few times, right?
Yeah.
Like if you look at the analytics, to stop a team that many times on fourth down is almost impossible. Mm-hmm. And yet, Gene Testator, who's the paid analyst, he thought he had the first down too.
He did. So did both the...
when the ref that's getting paid to be an analyst is basically telling you it was a first down. I will say this, just a little sidebar from the game. My wife, who doesn't watch football, actually asked me about halftime. She goes, I haven't noticed Taylor Swift at the game. And I said, you know what? You're right. They only showed her.
A couple times.
And it was pretty much at the end of the game. And I thought that was interesting, too. And Travis Kelce has really taken a different role with that team. He doesn't get the ball as much as he did. I mean, he always catches it when he does. But anyway, I thought it was a hell of a football game. And I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl. I really think it's going to be a great game.
There'll be a lot more people rooting for the Eagles, obviously. That's where we're at with the NFL.
I continue with my don't be silly, bet on Philly approach to this. I have to.
You think the Eagles could beat the Chiefs? I mean, you've been on them all year, but just the way things go for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I know.
I can't see anybody beating them.
I will say this, as far as the Washington game, though, we both thought they were going to cover 6 points. I was more disappointed because that game at halftime, still had a chance, and then it was like, oh.
Yeah.
And when you're watching football, I can't walk away because then I have to do something.
Well, especially, you're like, maybe Washington, because I took them to cover.
Yes.
So I'm like, maybe they can come back, find a way, backdoor cover, whatever, but it didn't happen.
I have no idea what I'm going to do this upcoming Sunday. Do you?
So this one's off?
There's nothing.
There's nothing. So they take a break. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
you got the Pro Bowl, I believe.
Oh, my God. Here we go. Got to start getting used to these empty Sundays.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby.
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
Okay, this feels like an every other day type of call now around here.
I don't know who's in charge of sanding in this city and province, but they need to be fired. Once again, the perimeter is slicker than a skating rink. Same as yesterday. Yesterday, 1:30 in the afternoon, finally a sand truck gets out on the perimeter. Somebody needs to be fired.
And that call, I want to say, was, not yesterday or today. That would have been a few days ago.
That was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak, because last week a lot of sanding truck frustration from people, and we like to get word from our city friends too on when they're going out there. So
Absolutely. Okay, this call here indicating that maybe it's not the drivers of Winnipeg that are so bad, but maybe it's the infrastructure in the city itself.
I know there's a lot of dumb drivers out there in Winnipeg, but I think the deeper rooted issue is the infrastructure in Winnipeg. It's just a poorly designed city. Even to go as far as Manitoba, having just 2-lane highways everywhere is total crap. We need to have minimum 4-lane highways, and just poorly designed city. Everything bottlenecks everywhere. Definitely poorly managed, that's for sure.
It's not the first time we've heard that.
no, it was funny. A conversation came up a couple of weeks ago with some people, and they were basically insinuating too that just because we have more people with vehicles on the road, that the growth of the streets and the size of the streets and that hasn't grown. Just the population with vehicles is growing.
Yeah.
And that adds to the whole cluster problem as well.
You can feel the city playing catch up with the infrastructure. Basically, what you're saying there, Joe, because of the way it's growing. Okay, this is an ongoing kind of conversation that's happening on the bone phone between the young gun and, well, she wants to be called Highway Girl now, and this is a great call. Yeah.
Good morning, Philly Joe and Kirby. This is the lady that was responding to Young Gun's comment about the storm on Friday. With the back and forth, I feel I need a handle. So I'm going to say I'm Highway Girl because I spend 2 hours on the highway every day, Monday to Friday. Anyway, I wanted to agree with Philly. Young Gun sounds like a really good person, a good human. He conceded that, maybe he jumped the gun on talking about people going too slow. But I want to say, Young Gun, you are not wrong either when you speak about people driving on the road when they shouldn't be on the road. It would be great if more people were aware of their driving abilities and acted accordingly. So you're not wrong. It happened to me this morning. Blowing snow, bit challenging of a drive, but I'm doing 100. All of a sudden, I'm 15 minutes out from work, and now we're going 50. Somebody at the front, driving to their ability, is 50 kilometers an hour. Is it frustrating? Oh, my God, it's frustrating. But we need to exercise patience so that we can all just get to where we're going and arrive alive. So kudos to you, Young Gun. Take care. Enjoy.
Highway Girl. I love it. Great handle.
She's good.
Great perspective.
Yeah. Okay, Vinny wants to talk Winnipeg Jets, and positive, Vinny, about the Jets for a rare time.
Coolest cats, Philly, Joe, and Kirby. Anyways, so the Jets beat Calgary 5-2. Good win, boys. So they did convince me they will make it to the second round. They had to get through a few slumps, but they made it. They won 3 in a row. So now, will they make it to the third round? It's too early to tell right now. I can't really say. I got to keep studying the Jets, know. Like, they made a little bit of mistakes, but nothing major, not enough to lose games, or this game, too. So they're doing well. And they put that other goalie in, forgot his name. He played good. Jets are going somewhere, so I can't decide at least maybe 10, 15 games if they play, and then I'll tell you if they make it to the third round. So it's a little too early right now, but they're on their way. They could make it to the third round.
Smart man, that Vinny, waiting about another 10, 15 games to find out. February. Comrie was, you know what, I'll tell you, that poor guy, he hasn't gotten too many goals behind him, but he did last night against Calgary. They scored 5. But
run support, yes.
This road trip will be interesting because it's all original 6, right? Like you got Montreal tomorrow, you got the Bruins. They play in Boston this week as well. So early games to watch, at least for us Jets fans. It'll be interesting to see what February brings because of that tournament as well. Yeah. And everybody sort of watches because we usually have a little bit of a lull, don't we, in February? But
we do. It's going to be tough without the night. Like the Four Nations is going to be fun, but whenever they do something like that, I wind up missing NHL. You know, the night-to-night NHL. Okay, we'll wrap with this one. I feel like I recognize this guy's voice, a restaurant owner.
Listen, I got a problem with you Malakas, okay? You guys think you can come down to the restaurant and just try and sit down, take too much time. These guys that shit for hours on end, they buy one fat boy, sip, chili. I put a Pepsi on special too for $9.99, and they're going to sit there for 4 hours solving the world's problems. I don't have time for this, okay? I've only got 6 tables in the place. Give me a call back, okay?
So
I don't think that's the way the bone phone works.
So we'll
we don't call back.
So true story. We were having some technical issues with the bone phone on Friday, or at least we're getting some complaints about it. So we had Joe go in the hallway and make a phone call. I thought he was just going to call as Joe.
Just fooling around.
That was so good.
The Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
Philly Joe and Kirby's Entertainment Rundown.
Okay, fans of the Aliens franchise, very excited after Alien Earth, the official teaser, aired during the AFC Championship game, creating excitement, buzz among fans. This will be a TV show, Joe, coming in the summer of 2025, so this summer.
Okay.
And it's the first time, like, these have always been movies, and now we're going to get a TV show. I mean, it doesn't. You don't have to be a fan of the series to know what's going to happen here with a title like Alien Earth. These aliens that we've been seeing in the movies for years are coming to Earth.
No kidding.
And you can just guess. Breaking news: it's not going to work out with these things on Earth. So I'm pumped for this. I just hope it's done well, and like something like this could have a run. Because the movies there's so many fans of this series, and if they do a TV show right, you can get a bunch of seasons out of it.
It was just nice to know there was some other shows coming to TV outside of Will Trent. when you're watching those damn football games, I'm telling you, I got nothing against Will Trent. I'm sure it's a great show, but that's
every 20 seconds.
That one and that sad sack that looks at that painting for Bell.
Oh man.
Everybody complains about that commercial.
Even my kid. Like, what is this?
Once a game is fine, but it's on every break.
That's right.
Listen, this, I'll tell you what, documentaries seem to be sweeping all the streaming sites. They keep making more and more documentaries. HBO is putting this one together, one of probably the most interesting characters of our generation, Pee Wee Herman. And it's a posthumous documentary. It's a 2-parter that just was released at Sundance, and it's getting rave reviews. That some of the interviews happened before he died in 2023. He was 70 when he died. I forgot, of cancer. Anyway, takes you back, and it was actually someone in his life. He was in a relationship with a man named Guy, apparently, from Los Angeles, who apparently inspired a lot of his iconic catchphrases. So if you don't know a lot about, there's always some documented stories about Paul Rubens. It could be an interesting 2-part documentary. Just watch the Menendez brothers one on Netflix. Pretty interesting, too. So documentaries.
Okay. By the way, we mentioned Caden Galt up for the Hobie Baker Award.
Yeah.
Super cool. The text line letting us know, former member of the Selkirk Steelers.
That's it. Shout out.
How about that?
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
Got a phone call last week. Was it Friday? About the hooligan, the Bone Phone hooligan, a regular with the Bone Phone, complaining about being invited to a guy-girl shower.
He said it was one of his best friends, if not his best friend, Kevin, I believe.
Right.
And the story was that Kevin's daughter was having their third child.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a few people on the Boston Pizza text line saying, "Oh, wait, whoa, third child. How many baby showers are we having?" But that was a sidebar to the story of frustration for the hooligan.
Getting invited. That seemed to be his thing. He doesn't want to go to a shower. Showers aren't for dudes, basically is what he was saying. And furthermore, it was
Football.
in the middle of a football Sunday, like championship weekend. 2 massive games on Sunday. So we haven't heard back. I assume the hooligan didn't go, but we'll have to hear back to see if he wound up going to
I'd die if he did.
Me too.
That'd be hilarious.
I would have given anything just to see him sitting there like a bump on a log, mad as hell, knowing he's missing the games, and just watched him interact at the shower. So I'm sure we'll get an update on that from the hooligan sometime this week. But in the meantime, we got all kinds of commentary on it. It opened up a can of worms of opinions on these guy-girl showers and some of the alternatives for guys.
Yeah, that's the one I thought was interesting. A lot of people on the Boston Pizza text line were suggesting things like diaper parties where the guys would all get together and at least you load up a truckload of diapers. Everybody bought a package or something like that, and they went out and had a couple of cocktails and
beers and
laughs. Yeah,
like that was the bottom line. Well, that brings us to this phone call. It came in on the bone phone, and I wanted to play it kind of on its own, away from the rest of the bone phone calls, because it harkens back to that conversation.
Hey, hooligan, this is Tantan here. Tell your buddy to ditch the shower. Tell all his guy friends to ditch the shower. And in return, throw your buddy a Huggies and Chuggies party. That's what I did for my husband. The guests bring the Huggies, the men, and you supply the Chuggies. And it's just kind of like a man shower, but I mean, it was just a bunch of men in the backyard getting drunk and playing some tunes on the guitar and having a good old time. And then you can watch your football.
Yeah.
It's the greatest thing. My husband loved it.
Okay, yeah, you had me at a bunch of dudes in the backyard getting drunk.
it's probably a good chance a couple of guys laid back in the yard with the Huggies as a pillow.
Playing guitars. So we had guitars out. We had, I'm sure there'd be good food at something like that.
Yeah.
Now you got me.
Okay, so you got the guys together is the bottom line.
Huggies and Chuggies.
I like it. That diaper party came up quite a bit.
Yeah, basically that's what that is, right?
Yeah,
but
just a great name for it.
She just gave it an unbelievable name with the Huggies
And she
Chuggies.
put it together, right?
She did.
That's the best.
She's great.
The guys are getting together going, "Woo."
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby.
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast. Another world tour.
Let's go. ACDC Nashville.
Carrie.
Carrie?
Yeah.
All right, let's go, Carrie. Let's go, Carrie. Let's go, Carrie. Come on, Carrie. Wasn't there a song by... Hello?
Hello?
Well, that was
Hi.
Sherry. That song was Sherry. Angel.
Yeah, by Steve Perry, formerly of Journey fame.
How did it go?
Oh, Sherry.
Let's change it to Carrie. Can you do it for Carrie?
Carrie.
Hi, Carrie.
Hi.
Be honest. How close were you to hanging up just now when Joe and I were chatting?
Very close.
Oh, that would have been bad. That would have been bad. We're
would've been
sorry. We're sorry.
Sorry about our singing.
Yep. Here's the deal. ACDC song of the day. You heard it and you did what, Carrie?
I entered WIN and my name.
Yeah.
That's simple. You texted WIN, W-I-N, and your name, and I have it right here in front of me, and the randomizer said, give Carrie a call and sing to her. Well, it didn't say sing to her. You're a finalist.
That is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Now, can we sing to you, Carrie?
For sure.
Oh,
Well, Carrie, you are qualified. Oh, you're a finalist. You're past qualification.
Yeah, you're finalist. You could be going to see ACDC in Nashville.
That's awesome. I'm an 80s girl, love ACDC. I've seen them a few times, would love to see them one more time in Nashville.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're badass, Carrie. Congratulations.
The Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
There are moments in one's life that you have to try to appreciate and you have to try to remember because they're significant How many years did you have a landline, Joe Aiello?
Oh, since I don't know. Let's say
Your whole life.
You know what? This landline, my father still has his. No, I guess let's say 32 years.
32 years.
Yeah, would have been when I bought my first house.
And here we go.
Maybe 33, 34 years.
You come in this morning with the news that after 33 years,
yeah,
the landline at Casa de Aiello is no more. Did they have to bring a work crew out to get rid of that, or how does that work?
No.
Yeah.
Right now, I just I used the app. They were you're dealing. I don't know who I was dealing with, but it was funny because I was looking at the bill, and I go, wait a second, you got to hear this because it was. So my landline, I've had the number. When you had something that it's kind of sentimental.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've had that number. So what happened was I had a doctor's appointment last week. And when you go to the receptionist, they ask for, what medications you might be on and that kind of stuff. And then they go, can we get a hold of you at this line? And I'm going, no, please don't. Here's they also have your cell phone, right? And I said, no, this is my main line. And then I got home and there was a beep on the answering machine there. I didn't use the silent answering machine that comes with it. I had the old answering machine. And
you have an old answering machine hooked up to this too that shows like digital how many messages you have on there?
So
Man,
it was like,
you are the best.
Beep. It went beep, beep. And I answered the message, and I realized the cordless phone lasted for all of 12 seconds before the battery died. I couldn't even hear the whole message. I said, I got to get rid of this. My frustration, I hit my wall. So what I did was I did the procedures, and you go through it. And I'm looking at the bill. I go, really, do I need to get rid of this now? Because at first I had it for my house alarm.
Yeah.
But you can do the house alarm through your cell phone, and there's other means through your computer, right? So
Don't need it
I sat there, and I looked at the bill, and I go, wait a second. Call waiting and call display. That was a big thing at one time.
Oh, boy. That would have been a huge marketing campaign to announce those features.
Man, you'd get a phone call. Hold on. I got to take this for a second. And the rudest thing you could possibly do. But before that, it wasn't like, my mother sitting at home talking to my aunt on the phone for an hour and a half. Nobody else was using the phone. That was it, right? There's no call waiting.
Busy signal.
And then the call display, you can actually see who it was. So, okay, that'll be gone.
Yeah.
And then I realized I had 1,000 long-distance Canada-U.S. minutes. I can't tell you the last time I picked up the phone and made a long-distance call with my landline on a free U.S. call because everybody uses their cell phone or your text.
So your plan came with 1,000 long-distance minutes that you had not been using?
I had not been using. My bill says you have used 0 of your 1,000 minutes. That's a month. A month.
You had 1,000 a month. Can you not compile those and get some kind of a refund?
I was hoping.
A cashback option?
So the landline is officially should be terminated, I guess, for the next bill.
Did you unplug them out of the wall and
not
that's
yet.
it?
I won't do it until the time runs out on the bill.
Okay, I get it.
But I'll tell you, it was kind of emotional, Phil.
I bet. That's something, that number. Well, you'll always remember that landline number.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
A lot of great phone calls came in on that.
But the whole call waiting, though. And then you'd forget you had someone on hold.
Yeah.
And the person was sitting there like, come on, how long you going to make
And
me?
there's no music interlude. It was like just air.
dead.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Sad day around here this morning as more than just the Kansas City Chiefs back in the Super Bowl again. We learned this morning that Joe Aiello, after, did you say 33 years?
At least.
At least, but we're going with 33 years, finally has let his landline go. It's been being removed from Casa de Aiello, and I just, doing a little research because it's an emotional day. You admit it. You've had that landline, that phone number for a long time. Yeah, the plan you had never been changed. Call waiting, call display.
I'll tell you, I can't tell you the last time I used either one of those. Oh, either one of those features, because honestly, it got to the point where I'd get like, I don't know, in 12 months, probably, let's say, I don't know, maybe 24 calls a year. And maybe 2 of them were somewhat of importance just because, let's say it was an office, like a doctor's office that would still have your home number as that, right? So after doing that kind of math and knowing that part of the offer I had. I saw this on the bill. It's amazing what you find out when you actually read these bills. I had 1,000 long-distance minutes for Canada and the U.S. to use a month. And when the bill said you have used 0, if I took how many years I've used 0 of these minutes, I've lost a lot of money.
I think there should be like back pay on that. Like you got to get a refund. You never use those long distance minutes. You were paying for them on your plan. I don't know what person needs 1,000 long distance minutes a month, but that's unbelievable. Now
I can't even tell you seriously the last time you could use it for call waiting, because that was such a game changer when it came up.
I wish I knew you still had that. Kirby and I could have given you a shout, and like I could have called you, and then Kirby called
So it's not officially cut yet. I just put in I put in the request. I guess they cover you off till the end of the billing.
I'm gonna start just
bombard me at home with messages,
bombing you with messages, and calling that landline. Okay, so 1992 is when he got the landline. So did you know, Joe, that back when you first got that landline, this was the #1 song?
And
wow.
And this, we want to send this out to the landline this morning because Joe's going to miss you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those long distance minutes that he never used.
I should have just called random people.
Just to celebrate.
Well, listen, even during the U.S. election, I could have called a bunch of people for free. People I don't even know, up to 1,000 minutes.
That's right. Just
I
checked
didn't.
in.
I
See
did
how
not.
they're doing. We are getting some reaction on the Boston Pizza text line. Melissa saying that you could switch that number now to your cell phone number.
Problem is, I've had my cell phone number for about the same amount of time.
Well, get another cell phone then and put that number on it.
All of a sudden, I'm like working for the cartel or what? Like I've got 2 phones?
Be one of those guys who walks around with 2 phones. This is for business. This is for personal.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
Got this one from John with a J. I once rang up an $800 bill on my mom's landline, calling 1-800 numbers to talk to those really sexy women that sounded like they smoked 3 packs a day.
I always thought that was clever too, right? You'd be at home watching a show late at night, and these commercials would come on, and they're all hot-looking people, men and women, like young, right? Men and women, and they're like partying hard, and you're watching this TV, and you're sitting there alone, trying to justify to call this number, and what am I going to talk about? Hey, what are you doing home on a Friday night? Well, my friends are at the bar. I just sitting at home, and I'm going to.
I feel like those still exist.
Oh, probably.
I feel like I still see those commercials. Like, call me. Party line, we can chat. But yes, that was a landline special. Joe Aiello disconnecting the landline. He's got 1 month left.
I think so.
You think you still?
I think it probably extends for a few more days.
Pick up the phone. I'm all alone. Yes, that was the.
Yes.
And they have a girl there acting like she can't wait for you to phone.
Like, what are the odds? She's all alone and she's on my TV at the same time.
Minister Ian Bushy checking in, as he quite often does. Super old school. My parents still have a landline in rural Manitoba, and when I was a kid, they had a party line. Yeah, we hear about these party lines all the time.
You connect with your neighbors, and everybody would know your business. Even in the town itself, it was so small. But now with this add-on phone feature,
that's right.
Listen, the Aubreys are on the line right now. We'll have to get on there in a sec.
I can say I never experienced that. Like,
no, either did I. But my late wife's side, they were in Ericsdale, Manitoba. So when I first went out there, we were dating, and she goes, "Oh, hold on, my sister's on the line." Oh, no, she's not, because the neighbor was on the phone or something, and I never had heard that before, right?
That's old school. I remember my folks had a landline, obviously. Then my dad got sick and tired of, 4 kids in the house, constantly our friends phoning. And it drove him crazy. Like, hey, Phil, hey. Like,
you guys got a second line?
He got us a second line.
Daryl Aubrey.
Yeah, well, he couldn't do it anymore. It was just driving him insane. Answering the phone.
Oh, man, I wish.
And that was a big moment. Oh, man, we loved it.
Were you the first family with color TV, too, in the block, too?
I don't know. Maybe.
Those Aubreys.
Daily
setting the standard.
For more Philly Joe and Kirby, log it into 92.1 City weekday mornings 6 to 10.